So let's fix the way this list is rendered. And I'll start with the comma, since that's a quick and easy fix. We get that here because with the map method, this will actually generate a new array full of list items. And I want to convert that array, which contains multiple pieces of text that have these li tags. I want to convert this array to one long string so that I just have a string that then includes multiple li items. And I can do that by calling join on the result of calling map, and I'll join these elements with an empty string so that they're all concatenated into one long string and I have no symbols that would separate those different elements. That's the quick and easy fix for that. And with that, if I save that and reload and click again, these commas are gone. But we of course still have the bigger problem that the unordered list is rendered inside of the button. And we can change this with help of another attribute that we can add to the element that triggered the request, the hx-swap attribute. Because that's the general idea behind using HTMX. You don't write JavaScript code. Instead, you use it declaratively by adding different attributes and different combinations of attributes to different HTML elements. And this swap attribute here, for example, is offered by HTMX to allow you to explicitly configure how this content that's returned by this request should be inserted into this element. And we can learn about this hx-swap attribute that there are different possible values you can set on that attribute. And those different values simply configure where exactly in the element that triggered the request the response content will be rendered. The default is inner HTML, which simply means that the response content, so in our case this unordered list, will be rendered inside of the element that triggered the request. And that's why the list ends up replacing this text and ends up inside of the button. Now, if you don't want that, you could, for example, use outer HTML to, as you see, replace the entire target element with the response. And that's exactly what I want here. We could also add it in front of the existing content of the element that triggered the event, or at the end. But here I want to replace the entire target element. I want to replace the entire button with the response. And therefore hx-swap here should be set to outer HTML like this. And with that, I added my second HTMX attribute to this code. With that, if we now save that, and I go back and reload this page, and I click this button again, now you see the button disappeared, and instead this list here is shown, because now the response content replaced the element that triggered the request.